Hey y'all, I'm back. So I want to talk about the, how can I put it? The crimes that has been fostered upon our society. Like what we see in the media, right? What we see, for some individuals who have experienced or explored the dark web, that there's a lot of, how can I put it? Activities that individuals are, how can I put it, have a fixation. This fixation, this addiction, this particular lifestyle, I want to talk about how it was implemented, how it was formulated, and how it views and shapes today's society, while we are so much of a sex-driven society, more than any other time in our the centuries of civilizations that has came about. I feel like that we are a product of incest. We are a product of beastly acts. We are a product of the sexual crimes, explicit, inhumane things that has happened to us when things were, implemented around, I want to say, if I'm going to put an era on it, I'm going to say around before the Knights Templar age, right? This is like the Valkyries and the Valkyrie type of crusade times, right? Is what I'm picking up. So when you realize that particular civilizations who originated such hideous acts of sexual deviant behaviors, like the Vikings and the Romans, right? When you realize that society got those particular mannerisms from these groups that had enslaved Aboriginal individuals, even they have also violated their own women and on men, because around this time, and I'm not trying to put any group down, but if you have done your history, then you know that with a particular, these sectors, these Vikings, they were very obnoxious, very grotesque, very I'll rape your daughter in front of you type of energy. I hope I don't get blocked, but from the stories that I've heard, and now that I'm realizing like where all of this sexual exploit activity come from is basically from barbaric people who were the knights, who was the king, like King Caesar, his knights, his cavalry. When they would go after war, they would go to gatherings and they would have themselves unto young men or boys or girls, and they would take them and make them and put them in a sexual crime to where individuals felt like they did not have a way of protecting themselves from these king's knights, these king's cavalries, because if they felt like they would reject or fight back, then it would be death would be upon them. And it's kind of sickening and sad to see how this same society is still welcoming polygamous, torture, BDSM, all that bullshit. Y'all make it seem like it's okay and it's cool to be in this, how can I put it, this dark occult, over sexualized energy, thinking it's okay when it's not. That's not the natural way of doing things. People are taking the traumas that their ancestors had to go through, and they're making it okay to do these certain sadistic things when these shits is not right. This is how some of your ancestors died. You know what I'm saying? Through certain sexual deviant behaviors, especially if they was fighting for their lives. And how dare we to spit on our ancestors' grave by implementing and encouraging what they had to go through or forced onto. You know, I feel like that we need to talk about the origins of this shit. And they may ban my channel or not, but let's talk about where this society, how this over-sexualized government, how this over-sexualized country, how you have the rap music, the country music. I don't care what it is. The only thing they talk about is how someone could get you in the bed. And all kind of other bullshit. Where y'all think a bisexual, not bisexual, but the same sex genders and shit came from them. That shit ain't fucking natural, and I'm gonna just keep it all the way motherfucking real. I know a lot of motherfuckers may think I'm just a hate speech or not, but it's not. That's not the normal way. That's not the natural way of bringing another deity, another being into the world. You can only make a child with one man, one woman, and one woman, one man, and one child. So these are masculines, men, karmic Vikings who would sit up there and have affairs with their own people, their own knights, and then they would put dresses on the feminine mans that they felt like that was their concubines. They actually was more in love with men than they was women. Let's talk about the Vikings, how they are your transgender energies of today's time. I'm gonna just keep it all the way fucking real. They might ban me for this shit, but oh well. I'm gonna speak the truth. And I know, and I'm not saying all of them like that, but I'm just speaking from my point and from the videos I've been seeing and I've been watching, where motherfuckers get this goddamn crazy ass idea to where they can make rules and regulations and think that shit is okay, or they have specifically harmed people, and I got to be careful with my words, and force themselves onto people because they are so beastly and so barbaric that they don't care where it comes from as long as it's from something. You're a fucking disgrace if you are still trying to pacify what Vikings have done, or if you are someone who is a tyrant, not a tyrant, but who is also someone who can get down with a program. Like, how sickening can you be? If you guys know anything about the Vikings, then you know what the fuck I'm talking about. How horrific, how they used to manslaughter people, how they would take men, how they would take women. They don't give a fuck about who the fuck you is. These are fucking demons. Fuck that. And I'm going to just call their ass out. And our society, they still mimic the Vikings' governmental kingdomship rules and regulations. The Babylon, that's Babylon fucking line, man. Babylon. You know what I'm saying? We still in Babylon. They still doing this shit. And that's why motherfucking Jerusalem must rain on their motherfucking head. And that's why God coming back, because this shit right here is still going on since Solomon and Gomorrah. You know what I'm saying? And even probably further than that. Shit, I'm just tapping in though, man. I just think we need to have a conversation about why is society so over-sexualized? Why is it we have transgenders? Why is it we have gays? Why is it we have straights? Let's break it down to it. Why was certain behaviors implemented on certain people? So let's break this shit down then. We're going to hear these traumas today. I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.